Hello, and welcome to another midweek reflection, or midweek dialogue starter, or whatever we want to call it. I hope you're keeping safe and well wherever you are. I hope there's something to make you smile each day, even under our current conditions. Certainly something which made a lot of people smile, which was appreciated by many, were the images of hope that we shared last week. I know a lot of people appreciated the creativity that was shown, and there will be some more images of hope, some extra hope given to us at the end of this video from some of our friends and members of the congregation. So hold on to that, you'll see some more hope at the end. For now though, we go to this week's reflection dialogue starter. And I thought we'd stick with food because hopefully you have, or you're either just about to send in your recipes for our Christian-Aid COVID cookbook. All of those details on the newsletter. I was about to say if you've got the internet, but if you're watching this, you clearly do. So go onto the website. It's all laid out there how to send your recipes in. And I know that the Christian-Aid have been in touch, Christian-Aid Wales, and they're thrilled at what we're doing, and they've asked if they can share with other people across the UK what we're doing, apparently. So I think Bethan might be interviewed, and that'll be on their website, and so maybe we've inspired others. So make sure you're part of the gang inspiring us by sending in a recipe, or just simply by buying one and trying some out. The details on how to buy them, order them and buy them will be given this Sunday. Got that? Okay, good. You might tell, didn't sleep that well last night. Someone, you don't need to know why. There was some noise going on. Not from my house. Anyway, let's get to it. So food, something that has been front and centre of a lot of our conversations, I think, during lockdown. And I was thinking specifically of chocolate. I don't know about you, but I've been eating perhaps a little bit more than my fair share of chocolate. Something sweet to get you through the day. And when you're based at home, if I don't have a funeral and I'm home based, it's just so easy when you pop in the cupboard, when you make a cup of tea, just to get another biscuit, another bit of chocolate. And maybe that's not so bad. After all, the interweaving between chocolate and religion and faith has been there for many thousands of years. The ancient Mayans used to use chocolate in their sacred rituals, in their sort of version of baptism and in their holy meal, their version of Eucharist. They used to have drinking chocolate. And even the biological name for the cocoa bean is Theobroma cacao. I may have pronounced that completely wrong, who knows. And the Theobroma bit, theo as in theology, meaning God or the gods, and broma meaning food. So chocolate is literally the food of God, the food of the gods. So I think it's a sacred act when we eat it. And certainly in the UK, a lot of our first chocolatiers were all Christian or Quaker. Some Quakers count themselves Christian, some don't. But a lot of them had a faith and had social justice at the heart of it. Hence, we read of Bourneville, the town built in Birmingham by Cadbury, to give good, decent housing and living conditions for his workers. And many of the first chocolatiers, as I say, were Quaker. Fry, Rowntree, I've just got a text, interesting, and Cadbury. So, I wonder what your favourite Cadbury's chocolate is. It's a tough call. In a packet of heroes, of course, or in a box, you don't have to decide because you get a good variety. You get your cream egg, your caramel, your twirl, your double-decker or dinky-decker, your crunchy, your dairy milk, your whisper, your fudge, and your eclair. Apologies for those in other climes where Cadbury chocolate isn't so easy to get. But I do love a box of heroes. It doesn't last long, I've got to be honest. I guess at some point we've got to question the individually wrapped plastic, but that's not for now. For now, I just enjoy a box of heroes. I love them all, except perhaps for the eclair. Because the eclair, it gets stuck in your teeth, it doesn't give you that instant hit, it's not kind of obvious chocolate, it's never been a big fan. And then last week, I found myself waiting for a shopping delivery. I was a couple of days short, and I wasn't going into town that day. I didn't have a funeral, and so I didn't need to go into town for anything. So I looked around the house for something sweet, and I couldn't find anything. I'd finished all my biscuits. I finished those Christmas candy canes that I had extra from some party that never got eaten, and now was a bit mushy, but they got eaten. And then I even finished some of the love hearts that St David's Uniting had at their anniversary service this year. There was a couple left. They're gone now. I couldn't find anything. So I went round the kitchen, and there's one cupboard which is high up. On the other side, I put glasses there so that when people of restricted growth come round to my house and they want to drink, it's always fun to see them trying to reach up. Sorry, Linda. But on the other side, there's the cupboard which I often stick sweets in. And so I was up there and I couldn't see even into it. So I was reaching around. I've got to see where this camera ends. So I was reaching around at the top in the dark, thinking that maybe something fell. Maybe in the corner, there's a random forgotten chocolate. And there was! Except it was an eclair. But if I'm honest, I was still overjoyed. Here was something sweet, something that would get into my bloodstream, that would give me a boost, that would taste great. And it did. And so perhaps it took a time of need for me to appreciate the true gastronomical beauty of an eclair. Is that right? Gastronomical? You know, with me, I don't understand cooking terms. So, that day, I discovered that, yeah, I like my Whispers, I like my dairy milks, crunches are good, but the humble eclair also has a place in my heart. And it wasn't a big leap to go from thinking about the box of heroes to the heroes in our community. We've got charities like Help for Heroes, which, put the more obvious sacrifices, courageous individuals front and centre. We've also been reminded during this time of the heroes in our health services, those who work for the NHS, those who are carers, those who are in care homes, and how they're heroes too. And that's great, and we should be clapping and congratulating them. And once this is over, we should be campaigning for them to have fairer working conditions and better resourcing. But that's for another day. But I did get to thinking, well, who are the eclairs of our community? Who are the ones who are often overlooked or ignored, but actually their true worth has shone through during this time? And for me, I'm sure you've got your own thoughts. For me, I thought of the postal workers and refuse collectors and food delivery drivers, people whose work we don't give much consideration to in the day-to-day running of things. But during this time, their worth has been their worth has been more. They've been greatly appreciated. So it took this time of need for us to truly, or for some of us, see their worth, their contribution, how they make life that bit better. But we have discovered that. And I thought, well, in God's chocolate box, I reckon there are a lot of eclairs. Because Jesus was always talking about the kingdom of God being for the lost and the last and the least. Those who are often overlooked by society or pushed to the edges in the darkened corners, but whose worth God knew, who was created children of God, that God knew that they were imbued with this divine spark, that were breathed into life by God, God's self. So, to the question for discussion. I've gone on a bit, haven't I? The question for discussion this week, should have written notes, didn't write notes this week, is what have you learnt during lockdown? What has lockdown taught you? It could be a new skill you've picked up, a new recipe you've tried, an old passion that you rekindled. I know some have got back into puzzles and some have embraced gardening like never before. I've heard rumours of people hula hooping, all sorts. So it could be something like that, or it could be something you've learned about yourself, about your likes or dislikes, about your routine, about how you see the world or see yourself. But that's what I think I encourage us to share this week through the WhatsApp group, the Facebook group, phone calls, just to chat with friends. What have you learned during lockdown? Just as I learned that the eclair is a thing of beauty, just as we've learned or been reminded about the worth of those whose jobs we often overlook. What have you learnt during lockdown? So that's it from me for now. Go well. Keep safe. Keep smiling when you can. But tears are also sometimes important. But keep safe and well, and we'll see each other soon. And now for more images of hope.